Oh, we're here. It's time. Hi, Maya. Hello. Ah, I'm postured, I promise. I just started. Okay, I'll hydrate. Luckily, this time I did remember to make tea. I was clever. Sort of. Lost track of time in some other ways. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We're good. Let me know how audio is. It feels like my voice is a little soft, but also, I don't know. But hi, y'all. Hope everyone's doing well. We're back. I just realized that we're on episode 4. How many episodes are in this game? Is it 5? It's probably 5 if I were to take a guess. It's very likely Edgeworth Games chapters. Probably could have called it episodes, but that's fine. This one has... Okay, yeah, this one does have 5. How's Edgeworth 2 chapters? How many chapters are in the second one? Because this means we're nearing the end of the first game. And the second one also has 5. Okay, that's what I thought. We're on 4 of 10. Not bad, not bad. I just said no. Anyways. So let's hop right into it. That is some good mini music, though. Especially...
Surprise, motherfucker!
Hi, Delphi. You did surprise me a little bit. How you doing? Episode 4. Turnabout Reminiscence. Hey, Faraday. The young lady who calls herself the second Yotagarasu. The piece of coal that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. Oh, that's right. The last thing we saw was Kay being like, don't you remember me? And Edward would be like, no. It's like, do you remember this? Well, now I have no idea what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy. But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it. I asked the defendant, just what exactly are you trying to say? Don't you get it? I know the true identity of the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu is the man standing over there in the prosecutor's bench. Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu? Don't you dare deny it. You told me to kill him when he snuck into that embassy. There you are. Hi, Delphi. Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday? Mr. Rell, I think we've had just about enough of you. Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You gotta believe me. Mr. Faraday, the Yatagarasu 7 years ago? You're forcing yourself awake? Well, don't force yourself. I'm happy to have you here, but you can rest. Sleep is good. In accordance with the defendant's wishes, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready. Wow, that's Edgeworth? Oh, wait! Isn't this his very first case? Like, isn't this the jacket he wore the very first time on his very first trial? It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. Edgeworth. Edgeworth? There we go. Von Karma is much more... he's a bit of... Well, no, he needs to be a bit older. Oh, no, I think that's fine. Sir? Have you read over all the documents regarding this trial? Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know. Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, murderer and falsifier of evidence. So what does that exactly mean? The things you don't need to know will accept nothing short of perfection. I feel like I'm not getting his voice proper for what I wanted. I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud. As I have... Nope, that's too... As I have... Nope, Okay, see, now I'm getting two in my own head about this. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Raiders. Hello, hello. Welcome, we're just getting started. Welcome to It's Edgeworth's very first trial 7 years ago. Hi, Fluffy. Hi, Bye Beast. Who's the old bastard? He did some jackass who killed people and covered it up, and we like his daughter though. His daughter's hot. As I have watched over you, I'm giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion. Yes, sir. That's such a legendary
sacrifice to Biscuit.
Biscuit, he's up in his cat tree. He's sleepy. Then again, the only time he's not sleepy is when I'm trying to sleep. The only time Biscuit's not trying to be asleep is when I'm trying to sleep. I need to figure that out. Such a legendary prosecutor will be watching and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. He might as well be on New Zealand time. Excuse me, madam, but there's something the matter. I just thought someone would have brought hors d'oeuvres by now. Look, this is a courthouse. It'd be quite atypical to provide hors d'oeuvres here. So, I still remember when I was in like middle or high school, we were reading, you know how you like read a play out loud? Yeah, some people sleep in past 11. You know how, you take turns reading parts of a play out loud at school? Spoilers, first of all, I was always one of the people who actually put, like fucking got into it instead of just reading. I actually put a voice to it. Fuck everyone else who didn't. I was having more fun than you. Second of all, I've never seen hors d'oeuvres written out, so I was like, hors d'oeuvres. I like hors d'oeuvres. I'm like, oh. Horse d'oeuvres. The horse d'oeuvres. I think when I said it, I think I said whores instead of horse. Are you sure? Someone poured me a fresh cup of coffee last time I was here. What the heck does she think a courthouse is for? This is so good! Oh, I could drink a whole gallon! I've never had of water that tastes that good. You'll give him a minute. Okay, I'm not gonna make that noise 1,000 times. You can just imagine the rest of it. Does he plan on gulping an entire reservoir dry? Aren't these great? Daddy made all these. Awesome, but didn't you get fired right after you made them? Yeah, I did. I spent the same amount of money on this model as it cost to build the real thing. And my boss wasn't very happy with me. Hey, Daddy, didn't you say you built a secret mechanism inside of it? I'll tell you all about it someday when you're older. A secret mechanism? Maybe installed as payback for getting fired. It could be trouble. Now I'm curious. Okay, look. I've never been one who thought that, like, First of all, I'm not a fan of, like, plain-ass water on its own. Back when I could taste, anyways. But, like, there's never been really a tap water that's just been like, yeah, this is great. Like, as long as it's cold, it's fine, I guess. A model of the courthouse. It's pretty well constructed. Hands and a face. Don't tell me this thing transforms. Yet, I wonder for what other purpose could they have been made. Okay, I'm trying to remember if this is a reference to another Ace Attorney game, but I don't think it is. At least not one that I can remember. Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute. Because the defendant was ticked up by the security camera, correct? Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is this claim that the case prosecutor, Byrne Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey. Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Byrne Faraday? He's a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense. Nonsense? He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court. Those who cannot be brought to court? That is nonsense, for no man is above the law. Clearly, you've never heard of the power of money. The power of money apparently puts all people above the courts if they're smart enough about it. Some people aren't smart about it, though, so... Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. The prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters. Yeah, but, like, you're only a prosecutor, like, when you're in the prosecutor's coat and you're, like, doing the prosecutor job. What are you outside of that? Like, do you have a hobby? Do you, like, I don't know, maybe... Von Karma, you look like a model train person. You look like someone who builds model trains and then blows them up. Or robs them. Maybe both. Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals. I see. Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven. Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused, Prosecutor Byrne Faraday, all prove the defendant's guilt. Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma. I know that you're not actually a Von Karma, but I want you to show them the power anyways. So, have you achieved a firm understanding? Oh, no, hold on. My mentor, who has never known defeat in 35 years because he's a son of a bitch. Oh, that actually answers us the question of how long ago before the first Ace Attorney game this happens, and thus when the Miles Edgeworth games happens. Because I believe, if I remember correctly, at the end of Ace Attorney 1, when Manfred von Karma is finally arrested, he was arrested after having a 40-year perfect record, which, again, should not be a thing. That's not a thing that you should care about. Stop that. What the fuck are you doing? You've definitely got some false convictions in there, you motherfucker. Anyways, so this is 7 years ago. So this happens 5 years before the first Ace Attorney game, when Phoenix becomes an attorney, and thus the Miles Edgeworth game takes place 2 years after the first Ace Attorney game, which is probably shortly after the third. Have you achieved a firm understanding of the case? Yes, sir. I have memorized everything that is written down in the case files. Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you're talking about. Understood. The murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Codopian Embassy. The victim, Mr. Dead Man. Gotta love the names in Ace Attorney games. You gotta love them. Especially the characters that don't fucking matter. Like, you are a character that doesn't matter. You have no voice. You have no personality. You're just a dead man. Was a staff member at the embassy. Other defendant in this case, Mr. Mackerel. Hold on. Mackerel. Like a fish. Like a herring. Like a red herring. Have I lost my mind enough? Are we good to continue? Was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yotagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Codopian embassy as well. At first, Rel claimed that he himself was the Yotagarasu. But that he did not kill dead man. How would he expect to gain from such a desperate lie? But it's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limits to people's inanity. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth. Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecutor presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rel as the murderer. The act of Mr. Wren firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery. Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to by the real Yatagarasu Burn Faraday. That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. Others may appear to simply be the murderer of a Kodopian embassy staff member, and people are actually referring it to as the second KG-8 incident. The second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough. Well, even among the police, it's information that only select few are privy to. Could you please enlighten me, sir? So, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident? In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents. This is a 3-year-old newspaper. You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct? Wait. The suspect is Bob Gnira. I don't know if I get the joke here. Oh! Never mind, I see it. It's backwards. I always thought it was going to sound something. Nope, it's just backwards. It's just full on backwards. Kodopian embassy staff member Meni Kochin found not guilty. The victim is CCU, a shadow over the Amano Group. What's his relation to the smuggling ring? Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested under suspicion of smuggling. Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group, and a sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court. Was a Kodopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder? Yes, a Kodopian by the name of Mani Kochin was the suspect. However, due to a lack of evidence, the case went unresolved. Lack of evidence? Ha! If only I was in charge of the case, I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt. Ah, and that's why you're the best, sir. Exactly. Everything in my power. Definitely not an evil bone in your body, sir. No, everything in my power. Yes, you certainly wouldn't falsify evidence, sir, right? Everything in my power, except for forging evidence, right? Right? Everything in my... Anyways, to make sure that all criminals are found guilty. A mentor really is dedicated. Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever. Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well. That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization. And just like the last time, the victim was murdered right before he could testify. No catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling organization. Events started occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident. So that's why it is being called the second KG-8 incident? Yes. Yet there's one difference between the two incidents. What would that be? The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief Yatakarasu. Yatakarasu. I'd better find out more. If it is true that the Yatakarasu showed up at the Kodopian embassy, what could they have been after? Because I refuse to ever say he or she again. Fuck you. Moving on, it's easier. No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely, to steal secrets from the Kodopian embassy itself. Since the item that the Yatakarasu stole from there was sent to the police. What was it that the Yatakarasu sent to the police? I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatakarasu was getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatakarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff members killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say? That would have to be the first time Yatakarasu has left evidence behind, correct? Yes, indeed. It does look a little bit like Small Might. Mixed with All Might. Like kind of an in-between. Middle Might. Yeah, Middle Might. Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatakarasu, I suggest you ask Faraday. Mr. Faraday. He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well. And his daughter, Kay Faraday, is going around calling herself the second Yatagarasu. Interesting. He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG8 and Yatagarasu. Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate. Kay Faraday! Oh my god, she's so tiny! What is it, little girl? You're scary, mister. I should need something. I want to trade these coins with you. A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies. But it looks like you've exactly $1. This is what you want. Thanks! That's exactly what I needed. Could that child be here to watch the trial? How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore? Clearly you don't. But you know what? That's a problem for Phoenix in Edgeworth of the future. Paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is complete, sirs. You can move on. Why, do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes? I'm so sorry. I can have you mopping this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant. It's no bother, sir. While being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me. A proud one you are. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. Oh, absolutely, he sucked. He's a Manfred von Karma is a son of a bitch. We don't like him. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. How much of this trial are we going to see? September 10th, 4 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Oh my god, just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible the defense is not prepared yet either? Undone by a metal... I'm trying to remember what... Okay, look. It's been a while since I played the original trilogy. How was he caught by a metal detector? Bailiff, where's Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. Well, there's the judge. Oh, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma was recommended. Bullet. Oh, that's right, the bullet in his shoulder. That thing that he never took out across all those decades. Here, this shall be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Dear God, it's so weird to seeing the judge from this angle, in this art style. Because this is not the original art style, nor is it the 3D art style, and we're used to seeing him from the front. Everything about this feels wrong. Also, why have you always been an old man? Were you born looking like this? Or are you just immortal? This may not I don't know! It's kind of the exact same fucking beard. This is only 7 years ago. If his father looks exactly like him, with only... I don't know. Oh, by the way, there was someone celebrating a birthday. Was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a papa going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. Nope, definitely the judge. So, it looks like the trial is about to resume. However... Yes, it would really all but be impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to? It's an emergency, sirs! Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. It's an emergency, sirs! Silence! There should be no yelling in this sacred hall of law. I said yelling. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once. Please! Oh, wait! You have to listen to me! There's an emergency! Defendant lobby number 2! Mr. Faraday and the defendant! The two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor! What? Well. September 10th, District Court, hallway. Hold on, I need to go see what that... Who the hell are you? Stay back. Stay back. Nah, I think this one kind of works a little bit better. He's a bit gruffer. Stay back. There we go. No one's allowed on the crime scene. Period. Just who does this old bull think he is? This is becoming quite the hotspot. This is the defense lawyer for this particular trial that we're happening. Isn't she Mr. Rowe's defense attorney? Hey, you! No running in the hallway, pal! And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. I'll start with you. Do you have a minute? You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this. I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court. Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh? I'll have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred von Karma. I'm so glad you stopped doing that. Do not take me for some naive novice. Especially because that's a very Karma thing to do. I bet you... Take me for some naive novice? Oh, no, you're a student of Von Karma. I should. Those clothes are a dead giveaway. Stop right there. These are the garments of one who gallantly represents the facts. Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay? I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort. Just kidding. I was just goofing around. And by the way, do you know who I am? My name is Callisto Yu. You wouldn't happen to be the older sister of CCU, the dead woman? From KG8? And if you're telling the truth, then we were about to go head-to-head in court. Oh, but of course, I've heard much about you, Miss Yu. But of course, I have heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare. Did I say something funny? You are my new favorite person in this game? I'd like you to update me on the situation. I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there? If that's the case, then why are you here? Oh, what's so funny this time? It's just that the way you speak is so tactless. The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. So I could go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened. That's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question. It's fine. She does have freckles. It's very rare to see freckles. Freckles are very good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't want to present her with this, but also... Miss Yu, what do you think about this piece of evidence? Actually, Edgeworth, I'm interested in what you think about it. I don't really know all that much about it. And I don't really know all that much about it either. Sorry, guess I can't be of any service. Shouldn't push it too much, she'll just start laughing again. I love that we left her in the laughing animation. That's great. And you are? Oh, me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs. Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a district prosecutor. Prosecutor? I've never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal. I've told you my name. Now, would you mind telling me yours? Detective Dick Gumshoe. Just recently, I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. Dick Gumshoe at your service, fresh detective at the same fucking time you became a prosecutor. Ain't that just fucking wild? More than a dream, it's what I was born to do. Don't ask me if I'm good at it. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first. This detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident? You know that I don't have to tell you anything, right? I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know.
Well, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge. Don't worry, he's not actually bad, he's really good. But maybe he is actually bad. Or maybe the name is a red herring. Or maybe it's telling us the truth. I don't know, we're about to find out. So you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door of the definitive lobby number 2.
So you were on guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty?
Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze.
You're a detective, and it means the gunshot scared you that much. Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range.
Then Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there, dead.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single beep of a struggle.
Interesting. Other than the gunshots, you didn't hear a single sound of commotion. But what if they were dead before the gunshot? What if it wasn't actually a gunshot? What if they were already dead? A drink vending machine. Now's not the time to be pondering what kind of drink I want. Can I ponder what the hell's with this vending machine here? Interesting. They're selling special court-themed food products here. Many of them seem sort of troublesome and suspicious. Objection, I suppose. Okay, this is in fact what I thought it was. It says Young Judges for Justice, but that's definitely the old man judge right there. A poster of the judge. There's a long slogan of some sort of it in tiny letters at the bottom. Every strike on my gavel brings the truth closer to me and my hair farther away. Is this a promotional poster for the court or a hair growth product? A fire extinguisher. If one would be hit in the head with this, I suppose the victim would lose a memory or two. Cut to, what is it, 5.5, 6 years later or so? Beginning of Ace Attorney 2. Smack Phoenix over the head with a fire extinguisher in order and he completely forgets who he is and what he's doing. But although I'd ever be so foolish to be struck by one of those. Only that idiot kid that I remember from when I was a child would end up like this. Excuse me, but who are you? Detective Tyrell Bad, homicide. I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me? Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple. Mr. Faraday requests that you be here. I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid. Kid? I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial, and therefore I insist that you update me on the situation. I can't back down here. I have a right to know. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid? Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? It's just a mirror. How dare he trick me like that? Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, Mr. Mackrell, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. Was there anyone else who went into defendant lobby number 2? Yeah, that big lug over there. His name is Gumshoe.
Did someone just say my name?
He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? Maybe. Such impudence. This guy's really testing my patience. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court? Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments. So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics, in order to assess that Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not. Well, looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son. Son? I'm not your son, Pops. Miss you? There's someone here who wishes to see you. Who is it? A Cadopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Koshin. Wait. Him? From I'm not your kid, pal. Curse me knowing that one joke from South Park, even though I don't care for that show at all. What's going on? Of course, okay. Manny Koshin found not guilty. He was not guilty. He is not the one who killed your sister. Maybe. It's also entirely possible that he actually was. Detective Bad and Mr. Yu's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. Wasn't Manny Koshin? I'll be right there. It's nice to see you again, Miss Yu. Why are you here? I've no desire to ever see you again. No. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat? Fine. Let's go. Meanwhile... Bad. Von Karma. It's been a long time. I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case is no exception. Do you know Detective Bad, sir? Yes, it's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. Only would get a promotion and move on. It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective. It's not like I don't know that. Moving on though, Bad, the man I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG Edens? He was found innocent? Regardless of whether or not that's true, you have no reason to hold anything over him anymore. Probably. Maybe. I don't know that for sure. I don't know. I just remember that sometimes in other Ace Attorney games, there are people who are like, oh, hey, you're that murderer guy. It's like, no, he was cleared of all charges. He was found innocent. Fuck you. Well, not guilty. It's close enough. Whatever. Not the same thing, but... So I was right. Just what is that man doing, wandering around here? That's Faraday. I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile! I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes. Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. Very well. Back on topic, I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here. Oh! It's little Francisca! I was like, wait, I recognize that voice. I recognize that voice. Papa, how can you place him in charge? Francisca, what are you doing here? Does it say how old? No, but not yet. It has Detective Gumshoe at 26 here. She should be... what, like 12 or 13 at this point? I'm here for summer vacation. What else? Franziska von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his, who's also junior to me. You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it. You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you? Ha! If you're able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never! Why does she always have to be this competitive? Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover the case? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I'm 100% confident that I can do a better job than him. That's just like Francisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them. Still trying to find out. There he is. I was right! Okay, I was close. She's 13. Jesus Christ. Bod. Yeah. These two will be conducting the investigation. What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene? I'm pretty sure detectives should be doing doing the detecting and not the prosecutors. Huh. There's a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills. Again, I don't think prosecutors are detectives. Just like lawyers are detectives. Those two are detectives. They should be detecting. They're supposed to be the ones detecting. You're a prosecutor. You don't detect. Stop detecting when you're a prosecutor. How many times can I say the word detecting? The crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in. I'm the one with authority over this crime scene, bud, and I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Francisca, I leave this case to the two of you. Understood, sir. Yes, Papa. I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from both of you. Do not disappoint me. I can't wait till we throw your ass in prison, bitch. Hold up, Van Karma. I still haven't agreed to this. Miles Edgeworth. It's been quite some time, Francisca. This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. Would it kill you to at least say hello? Long time no see. Very good. Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud. She hasn't changed a bit. Although, I will say, she still only has a riding crop, she hasn't evolved to the whip yet. Miles Edgeworth. As I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name. For crying out loud, and reduced to a babysitter. It looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him, he never fails. Except for the time when he finally did. And thank goodness for that. Now, I'd appreciate if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad. You're better off checking things out on your own. I feel like I've used this voice for something recently, but I don't remember who. Blackquill! Shit, I'm giving him Blackwill's voice. Hold on. It seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. I want him to be. How about this? Is this a little bit better? September 10th, 4:15 p.m. Okay, but the question is, why are they laying over each other like that if they shot and killed each other? I don't know, something doesn't seem right. Is the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously. Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking. What are you talking about? I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. A competition? The person that figures out the truth first wins. So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name? Exactly. I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things come from your foolishly foolish mouth, you fool! Fine, whatever makes you happy. Can I take that as you accepting my challenge? Once again, whatever makes you happy. Ha! Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am. Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. You kids over there, hold it! Kid? Ha! Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid. I said kids, kid. How dare you call me a kid as well? How old are you? 13? I'll do what I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy, you're going to watch over these two.
Yes, sir! Detective Bad, sir? Now do what I say from now on, kids, okay?
And you better not get in our way, Scruffy. I think she still calls him that. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do. That's not a whip, though.
And you, prosecutor boy! Let's get your investigation started already, alright?
Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child.
Alright! It's time to get investigating! Get a move on, prosecutor boy!
My name is Miles Edgeworth, and if you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time, it'll be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary. Wow, he's been fucking threatening Gumshoe's salary since the day they met.
What? And what would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was.
That's up to you now, isn't it?
Really? Sounds good, pal.
He's so naive. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you? What is it? It appears that both the knife and the gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. And that leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member, but I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well. Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait! What if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Huh. Maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid. So you're going to treat me like a child forever? Voice is a bit gruff. It's a bit rough on me. It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence so as to protect the honor of the Von Karman name. If I were to guess, if they actually did kill each other, which I'm suspecting they didn't, Rell stabbed Faraday, and while Faraday was dying, he shot Rell. And that would cause Rell to fall first. And then Faraday would fall on top of him, right? It wouldn't make sense for him to get shot first, and then stabbed first, and, well, maybe, like, if the shot didn't kill him immediately. There's some stuff in the
bag, pal.
I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. That's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him.
This is the evidence? Oh, I'd better not touch it. Well, with prints on it.
Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? There's some plastic bags stuck on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance.
Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know?
Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor, throwing us off. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around?
Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal.
I know that much, Detective.
You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Oh, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but what is this guy? Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Considering one of them has blood in it, that makes me go, It looks like the sofa is ready to be disposed of.
It's so soft, I could sleep for all 25 hours of the day on this thing.
If only I could dispose of him. The window is open and there's a fresh, flowery scent in the air.
The flowers in the garden out there are so gross and ghastly.
Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change?
Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor.
Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the window?
Yeah, but I guess there's that too. Either way, no one can get through these windows, right?
I thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Very nice.
Whoa!
Oof, what is a Detective Gumshoe?
My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal.
Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one.
Ooh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge! Ah! It's way too noisy.
You're the noisy one, Scruffy. Don't touch it. You get your fingerprints all over it.
But I didn't touch it.
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. Foundation, huh? It sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However...
Using logic, the only logical conclusion is... Nah!
Oh, what was that outburst for?
My detective's instinct just hit me real hard! It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see?
You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense! But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Oh, why are there plastic bags scattered all around?
Those bags are for keeping... We already know all this!
I know that much.
You sure are good at... We already know all this, though!
But when it's this guy... I don't know, this one's got blood on it. Like, is it fresh blood?
Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand.
So he shot Mr. Rell and fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun.
I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun?
It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope
I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands.
It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, she jotted out some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. But what's with this bruise on this hand? His hand is all black.
His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. My bet is that this motherfucker's left-handed. You'll see this a lot with left-handed people. Sometimes, like, when they're writing, because of the way that they'll smudge ink and stuff all over their hand if you don't do it properly. Because you're going over where you've already written. So, I think he's left-handed.
If you look closely, as watching pattern resembles an ink stain.
Called it! I'm a genius! Don't ask me why I'm still using this voice! It's just what we got! An ink stain?
Yes, I usually get ink on my own hands when I use my feather pen.
A feather pen? Never seen one before. Sure you were just making it up, pal. Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand.
There's some blood stuck on it.
Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it.
Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? Let's jot some notes down about it. Mr. Rell's cause of death was from being shot, correct?
That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down.
A death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth.
Are you sure they were trying to hide something?
I can't confirm Mr. Rell's cause of death with his body position like that. Detective Bat, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible.
What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are now?
I believe in examining the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you?
I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it.
Labby. Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya?
Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective.
Yes, sir! Understood, sir!
Okay, what are we dealing with? There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen.
Hey, you know I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bat is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own.
Yeah, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual.
There's a knife wound in his chest here, see?
I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Labby. Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. shot in the chest.
Takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. And therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. In other words... Here's the thing. It makes absolutely no sense that they shot each other, that they killed each other. Because if one dude got stabbed and then immediately fired his gun, first of all, in his right hand, it would be on the other side. It'd be on his left, not on his right. Second of all, there'd be a lot of gunpowder residue. Second, if he did fire first, the dude with the knife would be way too injured to actually stab him.
You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal?
Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Let's now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Garrett Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. And then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my current theory, in any case.
What a crazy way to go!
Still, something about this explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Let's start putting pieces together. For example, the ink stain and the fountain pen tells me he's left-handed. Hiya! That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen.
Oh, let's ask the lab guy!
Dr. Gumshoe! I confirmed that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see! Good work! You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life.
When Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well.
Okay, if you say so.
There's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. And yet, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's unlikely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case might there not be another explanation as to how they got there.
Another reason.
I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow.
Please get that blood away from me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag?
Hold on, let me ask the lab guy.
Alright, please hurry.
Wait till you get a load of this, pal! It's Mr. Faraday's! Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either, sir!
It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence.
Okay, if you say so, I leave it in your hands, pal! I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there another possibility.
No way, pal! Really?
I suppose I will just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. It's this one. This contradiction. The fountain pen. And now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is in fact this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene.
Hey, you're right, pal! That does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen?
The facts add up to only one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died.
Someone else?
Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us.
Investigation complete, pal! Always wanted to say that.
Here's the autopsy report. Wait, how do we already have an autopsy report? They're still here. They haven't gone to autopsy yet.
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantly from his stabbing. Interesting.
Okay. Wait, if he died instantly, he should have fallen first.
It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case.
Are you sure we know everything?
Of course. The incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. Prosecutor went into a rage for being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt.
Do you really believe that to be the truth?
Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is.
But don't worry, I will. Let's begin, shall we?
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell, and Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case.
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong.
Shock from the stabbing caused instantaneous death. There's no much evidence that he was shot from a few yards away.
In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory.
Let's see here.
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement?
Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need.
Alright, so Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rell before being stabbed.
You're finally beginning to catch on, I see.
Hold it!
So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday?
Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that it's perfect?
What were you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let you say just what you said. I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. It must be clear and precise, so if you could amend that statement of your testimony. Fine.
They struggled, and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
Let me see. About the statement. Mr. Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my writing crop can do.
How does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room?
Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you?
No, that'll be fine.
I'm trying to think about what the correct answer here is. Let's hear, because we don't need that. Didn't hear a sign of a struggle. Oh, that's right. Duh.
Objection!
If the two men were fighting, the struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So, what you're saying is this.
Mr. Rel took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rel after being stabbed? Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday had to have shot Mr. Rel after being stabbed. Owen.
Take that!
According to the coroner's reports, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired a gun after that. Oh, you get me. But of course. Well then, if the report is correct, then there's only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rel attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantly, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rel. Therefore, Mr. Rel must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot, then they both died. That's the only explanation that makes logical sense. Neglecting your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible, before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could. Sometimes you forget that the fool memes are just real. The meme of her saying fool 1,000 times per sentence that's just her. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you've still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. Contradiction here in this crime scene is... Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rel. And then the wounded Mr. Rel found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rel died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look in the order in which their bodies are piled. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rel's. Therefore, Mr. Rel must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rel's. Two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. I just know that Francisca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. For example, this. Oh. Well, I can actually have... This blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found. Which begs the question, do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? That's a really good question. If an evidence bag is evidence, does the evidence bag go into an evidence bag? What if the evidence bag that's holding the evidence bag ends up being evidence for a different crime? Do you have to put the evidence bag inside another evidence bag while it's already holding another evidence bag? How deep can we go with this? How many crimes can we commit with one series of Matryoshka dolled evidence bags? I believe in us. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves her contradiction. Buddy.
Hold it!
About that. Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools. That wasn't my intent. I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rel. Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute? Francisca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours. Oh, I'll hold on to it all right, as I whip you. Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue, if you don't mind. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. Really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
Hold it!
Do you really believe they fell in the exact opposite order in which they attacked? Miles Edgeworth, you are not listening to a word that I'm saying. They both attacked each other at the same time, and Mr. Rel fell first by chance. Thinking Mr. Faraday just happened to fall on top of him. Then Mr. Rel died shortly thereafter, pinned underneath Mr. Faraday. That's how it happened. So the two men attacked each other, with Mr. Rel randomly falling down first. I feel like if he died instantly, like, here's the thing, you stab someone if they're dead instantly, even if they did fall on top of you, you're falling ass first onto the ground, not face first. The fact that the order that they attacked each other in varies from the order they fell in doesn't cause a problem for me. However, there's definitely one certain aspect that I'm having trouble swallowing. Can I impress this? What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rel while holding both the knife and revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. Then why is he upside down? Or why is he face down? At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got. Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like it for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point to that, but as you please. Ah, we already know that this one. Because there's no gunpowder burn.
Objection!
Aha! So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as is written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation. What a completely foolish line, a foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool! If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? Person that attacked first with murderous intent? Well, that would be neither of them. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. The third person is the real culprit. Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime? Of course. If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup, made to look like they killed each other. Nor presents it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there is a third person involved? It's either the bag that has the blood on it, the pin that proved his left-handedness.
Take that!
Oh, this is that very evidence. I have a feeling. And exactly how was that related? Do you think you could explain it to me? I have a feeling I messed that up, but that's fine. Oh, there's no need for an explanation.
Well, I have no idea how it's related, so could you please explain it to me?
Yes, well, let me guess. You can't explain it, can you? it would appear that I was wrong. But there's definitely a contradiction here. And it should resolve itself if there truly was a third person here. Go over the evidence and my thoughts again. I mean, all this is contradictory. A third person. The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for a moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Clever! I didn't think about the splatter thing. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Looks like we still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection.
Who? Oh, it's her. And the judge? Oh my god! He actually has a walking sprite. Huh. What do you know? It's good to see you, Judge. How you doing? Never seen you up and walking.
What the heck's up with you, pal?
Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
What?
What's the meaning of this? Ha! Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates. Don't you dare. That detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie. Miss Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement. Oh, that is Honor explaining himself. I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway.
What?
See, Mr. Bad. So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie? Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday?
No! Of course not, sir!
It would appear that the one who set this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come crumbling down, Miles. Was that statement really a lie? And Detective Gumshoe, you're now a Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now, spit out the truth or so help me.
I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I was really there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Ankarma, after all. Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Detective Gumshoe, I take it that no one else was in that hallway at any time, correct?
Huh? Oh, of course not, pal!
You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me?
Watch your mouth, pal! You can't go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence.
I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point. Miles Edgeworth, how can you be losing a battle of wits with this detective? You're a disgrace. Maybe I should ask about something else. Detective Gumshoe, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time?
Look, pal, like I said, I was there the whole time, okay?
Well, there's testimony against you that... Miles Edgeworth, why are you wasting our time with a completely useless question? The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing the crimes. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool.
to get this.
I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Faraday or anything?
No, sir! Not me! Not a single bad thing about Mr. Faraday, sir!
Is that a fact?
Objection!
You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe?
I'm telling you, I am not lying!
The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know. As we'll learn in the next 7 years, this is not unnatural for him. If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation. You're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit!" The brand new detective suddenly getting a salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
You totally misunderstand me, pal! No matter how well I get, I can never hold a grudge!
Quiet. We can't trust anything you say.
Sir!
There's nothing wrong with the motives you propose per se, but there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Miss Yu's perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all. Jesus Christ. First of all, like, once again, why are prosecutors the ones doling out pay cuts to detectives? Stop that. Second of all, it was his first fucking day. Because he's only been a detective for a week. A week ago. Then you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances. No way. I only met him in person today. Then how did you know about Detective Gumshoe? Oh, I've seen him around before. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the...
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday was upset. Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. There he was, totally beat red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making now, right?
I'm completely innocent, I tell you!
The poor man. It was quite the scene with the detective.
Hold it!
You just stood there, watching this unfold in front of you. Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable too. But that's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him.
No way! I thought it was because I had something stuck in my face!
But you do!
Huh? What if I got stuck on my face?
Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows.
Huh?
Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun. Miss you, if you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now. Sure, why not? Sending a salary cut, that's reason enough for a grudge. To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that. I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice?
Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too?
I suppose I did. It's only natural to cut a worthless detective's salaries down to their actual worth. My father can even fire anyone new or old with a snap of his fingers because we prosecutors have too much power. Do you think maybe that's reason enough for detectives to hate you people? Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. Detective Bad, don't tell me Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier. I mean, I also agree with him. Don't, you can't just cut someone's pay like that. Fuck you, bastard. Get fucked.
Hold it!
You call your explanation perfect? This is not to your liking. Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards. Oh, is there something you want me to clarify in that case? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Sure, why not? Alright, if you could clear this one thing up for me. I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rell? His motive for killing Rell? A guy would know. If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, then I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves? Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea. What? That's impossible. She must know something. Oh, wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh. So you have to do anything and you're already laughing anyway. Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway. Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation. Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight, or is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma? Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rude woman up! I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to explain it to you, kids. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. All you really have to establish that someone had a grudge against one of the two. Mr. Rell, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder, and therefore he was killed out of necessity and then set up to look like they had killed each other. That feels highly unnecessary. Like, there are so many ways that could have been easier to do. I wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. The second KGB incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member. And the two men who both wound up as suspects in the case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them? Yes. Yes, there is. I have an idea. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Fair. I don't know if that's true. After all, this guy exists and is in fact here, in this building. All you really have to establish is...
Hold it!
So there is no one else who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell? I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in this courthouse today. She's lying through her teeth. We just saw someone like that here earlier. Besides, you don't need to prove the killer had a grudge against both. Okay, so I was right. I did know what I'm doing. Wrong button! I meant to press the other one, not that one.
Objection!
Miss Hume, I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up? What do you mean? We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was the suspect in the original KG-8 incident, and a member of the Cadopian embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cadopian embassy staff, Mr. Rell, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG-8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men? Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
You covered for me, pal! Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all.
Don't get ahead of yourself. You're also a suspect, and make no mistake about that. Perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold.
But I didn't do it!
You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, I will not be very forgiving should any of this leak out. You want to investigate Cochin? You'd just be wasting your time. And why is that? Cochin was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial. Or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived. The only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe. I suppose so.
No way! Come on, Detective Bad, you gotta believe me, sir! I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir! I never took a single step into this room, sir!
Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway?
No! There was no one else, sir!
Then why should I believe you didn't do it? This is one incredibly foolish detective, sitting right in front of a crime scene all by himself. As good as a confession of guilt. I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would at the very least offer up I spaced out while on duty or the like. Come on, Gumshoe. Time for your interrogation. I still think it has something to do with the open window.
Detective Bad?
The judge still standing there looking pissed. Miles Edgeworth, I will go on ahead and report this to Papa. And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Ho, ho, ho! Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, Before we do, Miss Yu, there's something I'd like to speak with you about. What is it? And how to set these two men up and make it look like they killed each other. And there's one thing I cannot forgive. It's the desecration of the dead. Oh. So, what do you want to ask about? The current case of the murdered Kodopian embassy staff member. My further people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident. Only among you law enforcement types. And, what about it? I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers. No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident. I'd appreciate if you'd stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are used both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know? I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here. You can stop making that ultra-serious face in front of me. If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. Not going to make any headway like this. Just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG-8 incident she is. Miss Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG-8 incident. That file is your proof. Very well then, why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG incident? Your connection to the KG-8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case? I promise I am able to speak properly. I can read and I can talk. I do, in fact, promise that to be true. Sorry, but we're not related. Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face, and I couldn't help but... Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Amano group was my sister, CCU, as I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Kochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cozy, cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Kochin's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made often the most important piece of evidence. Then the evidence had been tampered with? Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? A smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Kochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a long operation? I don't really know, which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KG-8. Well, I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. You mean you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Why did Mr. Kochin want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on the case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. It looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. What's that supposed to mean? Oh boy, some of the scary face already. I'm fine, really. I gave him a good slap across the face. The way she talks about slapping him as he laughs away is kind of creepy. Ahem. But just as Mr. Bat said, he's not related to the double murder. I asked around and people in the gallery claimed that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about the cruel fate. Well, that's about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we? Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I'll look in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well. You'll see. Look at you with your game face on, ready to go. I'm making no such face. Did you know, laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? Don't you just want to go apeshit? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals in this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. The KG-8 incident in this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus, that detective, Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not the detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. Cut to 5 years later, when Von Karma is the biggest piece of shit you've ever met. Sorry, I was checking something real fast. Ugh. Save your progress! Now the question is this going to be a shorter episode, or is this going to be a longer one? Like, is it going to be short like the first two, or long like the third one? Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadopian Embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are not dead, the case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. I will uphold the honorable name of this man who certainly did not kill my father and take me in as a child of his own. Definitely will uphold that name forever. Ha! It looks like you have to wait just a bit longer for your big debut. I suppose it can't be helped. The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, and the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rowe? An outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety. Outrageous circus. Right, sir. I grew weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case. Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. Whatever for? I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rowe. However, there's not enough evidence to prove that it is he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue the investigation in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. The perfect proof. Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Ah, yes. Don't you just love it when your father figure, who definitely didn't kill your actual father, calls you worthless, even though you considered him like your father for the last 10 years? 15 years? No, 10 years. It is 10 years at this point. Because if 5 years from now, it's the whole thing about, like, there's the whole 15-year statute of limitations thing, which is the whole reason why it wasn't Christmas yet is a meme. Getting ahead of myself. Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas, which means it wasn't. The statute of limitations hadn't run out yet. Papa, who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree?
If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish.
Then you're allowing us to continue?
In course, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning, and also falsifying evidence.
And being extremely mean and rude, and firing everyone you don't like, and killing the others.
We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we?
It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise.
I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Francisca, see to it that I'm not disturbed, save for the results of your competition.
Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. Francisca, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that the competition is still on. Yes, just as you wished. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare in the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth.
I know I don't have enough information yet, so my first order of business will be to question anyone involved in this case.
And as always, of course, we have our little girl assistant. Because there always has to be one in Ace Attorney. Sir! Nothing to report, sir!
Shh. Is there no one who will make this man take responsibility for his actions on the job?
No, sir, we have no choice but to report this to Papa. Then this guard can have fun in a waking nightmare after being awakened from his dream.
Actually, that's not. I kind of feel sorry for him now.
What's the matter, officer?
I've been standing here for forever, sir. I really need to go to the bathroom.
Why don't you just make a quick trip? This one isn't that far, is it?
Oh, it's a short way down the hall beyond these doors, but I don't want to be blamed for anything that might happen while I'm gone. So I'm gonna hold it!
Perhaps Detective Gumshoe can be a positive influence on the force after all.
Wow, this thing is so incredibly detailed. My inner modeling fanboy is impressed.
Not exactly a fan of plastic models per se, but even I can sense the superb quality of this model. I simply cannot comprehend how that man can feel so much love for such a trifle. Oh, I see. You're a disciple of my father, so you would do well to guard yourself against an interest in such unproductive things. Excuse me while I go grab my Gundam figures and make some. I want to make some more Gundams. I haven't done. Yes, let's just take up whipping people like the young lady over here.
I can't stop the water, sir!
It seems that the man who was here earlier broke it by drinking from it too much.
Monica!
Hi. What a question! What a hell of a question to walk in with. You went to Warhammer now? You went to Warhammer, I went to Gundam. I'm sure there are ways to do both. Do it all at the same time. Anyways. Bunch of fools who pretend not to see the foolishly foolish actions of a foolish fool. Oh, then why don't you lend the officer a hand? As if I should have anything to do with this. Besides, that water-drinking fool's mouth is the thing that officers should be covering. Let's give that officer a description of the water guzzler later. She seems to have quite the grudge. That sounds to me like someone wanted to drink. There are rules out. The rules are. That's the thing. That's awesome. That's awesome. I kind of love that. Yes, this is my Warhammer army. The Gundams. Prepare to die. It's you. Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Francisca von Karma, and I am about to become the successor to the family name. About to. I guess that means for now you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are.
Why are you whipping me?
Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. I'm terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you. Look at you. Eyebrow scrunch for the lines on your forehead. That to ask of you. What exactly is so funny? Sorry, I'm just out of dealing with a super serious atmosphere. Apparently they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school. I feel much better now. So what do you want to talk about? I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder. We were in defendant lobby number 1 the whole time, up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. You were Detective Bad? Why? We had a little something to discuss, that's all. So I take it that you are acquaintances with the Detective Bad? Ah. My nose is acting all funky today. It'll be nice a few weeks from now when hopefully it's like a month from now when it's not doing that. Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG8 incident. Detective Bad is also related to that incident. That's right. He was the one who's supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG8 incident from my papa, but how does this case relate to you, Miss Yu? The victim in that case, CCU, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I was making a point to rub more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him. The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday. I said they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes. I see. He did mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. You claim that at the time of the murder, you were with Detective Bad. But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess? Oh, we do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked. And what did you talk with Detective Bad about? Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some, talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. Bloody... Well, she's not laughing. Her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults. Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred, so I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2. I see. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Mackerel. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu, is that correct? Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu that had made off with the evidence from KG8, I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu, he had just made that up. He made it up? Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself. Hold on for just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yatagarasu, and that he was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals. Oh my god, I hate these people. See, this is why no one likes this is actually why no one likes defense attorneys in the Ace Attorney universe. But the truth is, this is why I don't like prosecutors in the Ace Attorney universe. That's why defense lawyers are so detestable. But they are no match for us Von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save that face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. This is why I don't like prosecutors in this. To be fair, actually, the more you think about it, that's such a thing that I feel like I grew up with too. Hearing. was that, like, that was kind of the joke, I guess, and, like, on TV a lot when I was a kid. I think that defense attorneys, that's what defense attorneys were. Like, they cover up for crimes for money. Like, but the reality is, no, you have a right to an attorney because you have a right to a fair trial. And without an attorney, as we saw in Krain and Ace Attorney 6, fucking shit gets real bad when you don't have a fair trial with a defense lawyer. Anyways, Yatagarasu. I miss you. I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself, but I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? The Yatagarasu is some petty thief out for money, you know. That's also true. We don't know how long Professor Means was in charge of that school, but you are absolutely correct. In Ace Attorney 5, Professor Means was like, any means necessary to win. Who cares about the truth? The only thing that matters is that you win. That includes prosecutors, that means lawyers, and that also includes judges, although judges are technically neutral parties, I guess, but maybe they're also technically on the prosecutor side. Do I think he's the reason all this went to shit? If he's been around long enough, it's possible. If he's been around and teaching these schools long enough, maybe. Because the thing that really started it off was actually, it was Gavin. It was not Javier Gavin, the other Gavin, the asshole Gavin, murderer Gavin from Ace Attorney 4, the first Apollo Justice game. He was I think he was actually the one who started the Dark Age of the Law. And because he was the first incident, because he tricked, he was the one who falsified evidence and then pinned it on Phoenix. But then there was Black Quill's whole situation that was caused by, I'm trying to remember who the real culprit there was. Because that was the second half of the beginning of the end for the Dark Age, of the beginning of the Dark Age of the Law. Because it was the defense lawyer falsified evidence and the prosecutor was a murderer. But Black Quill didn't actually murder her, and I don't remember who actually did now. It slipped my mind. Was it the captain? I think it was just pinned on him. Whatever. Blame Gavin. Christoph Gavin. I remember his name. The jackass. He doesn't deserve me remembering his name. Alright then. Perhaps the Yatagarasu is in the business of stealing people's lives. You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma? Francisca, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully, or maybe sued by... There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. That just now was hilarious, little missy. Of course it was. What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight? To be fair, you just kind of give off that aura of pompous dickheadedness. That pompous dickishness that just makes it really easy. And, so in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany. The Yatagarasu deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the likes of companies. The Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now thanks to the thief. It sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. I should move on to speak with Detective Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe, are y'all ready for him?
Hey, it's you, pal! You're here! Ouch!
As am I. I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that.
I didn't do it, pal! I swear, my honor as a detective! I really didn't!
Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, Detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. I wonder when he changes to his trademark green jacket.
Have a heart, pal!
But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is.
That's right! Hey, pal! Go do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, would ya?
I would have done so, even had you not requested me to, Detective. So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry?
I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech.
I remember doing the exact same thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom. How pathetic for the detective to be comparable to a mere school child. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so and from whom?
Earlier at around 3:20 from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday.
And yet, something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty.
Yow! Your words sting worse than your whip, pal.
So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? I know then, Detective Gumshoe. Is there anything else you would like to tell me?
Nope, not a thing, pal.
In that case, allow us to take a look at what you were carrying on your personage.
Ah! Wait, you can't do that.
There's nothing of any particular value here.
Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so, you know.
And what is that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket?
Ah! Hands off, pal!
Just show it to us already!
Yo!
Annual bonus check within. $5 total. Except there's no check inside.
You've had your luck, now give it back, pal! My first bonus as a brand new detective! I just got it and cashed it today! I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know? That envelope is really special to me. Now give it back!
You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later.
How could you?
He had absolutely no money. Boy, I know that feeling. All day, every day. I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there is one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe.
Understood, but please make it brief, sir.
I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. What's this? Nothing about the court in here. It's just page after page of unrelated drivel. Judging by the contents, they are very enthusiastic about the courthouse daily menu, and it would appear that fried oysters are a favorite. I have no use for such foolishly foolish words from the foolishly foolish crowd. Someone please assure me that this is not the true state of this country's judiciary. I'd like to ask you a little about this.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not a kid.
You must understand, I wasn't going to ask you about that.
All I've ever wanted to do was become a detective, so I've never wanted to be a killer.
Seems like he doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. Is it not him that we're supposed to be asking a question of? A bonus of $5. Even for a new rookie detective, that's a bit low.
Yeah, but even though I just got promoted, I guess I caught the attention of the higher-ups.
At that amount, I'd prefer to not receive one at all.
You just don't get it, pal. You don't get how great it feels to get your first bonus.
I suppose not. I get to receive my own bonus as a prosecutor. Well, I received mine from my papa last December like I do every year. A sort of bonus as a holiday gift. Whatever you want to call it, Miles. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than a gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct?
No mistake about it, pal.
And then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct?
Yep, not even a single ant passed through the hole while I was on duty.
You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself.
Huh? Oh, but it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond me what I can even imagine.
I have a feeling they were probably dead before he started standing guard. So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant lobbies is in order. The only question that I still have is, hi Kay, hi little Kay Faraday.
You!
Oh, I'm down for the count. Farewell. Somehow this is worse than the whip.
How could you have not noticed that coming?
Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier? Kids can sometimes be so cruel.
It looks like she dropped something. Swiss roll! Food!
Ooh.
God, I'm so ready for my taste buds to come back. I'm ready to be able to taste again. Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. Oh yeah, no. Right in the place where it hurts the most.
I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. I believe I've asked all that I need of this man. Now, for Detective Bad and the judge.
We have to confirm who's correct. The judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next, then.
I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisca?
Look at this courtroom. Hold on. I want to play at being judge. Watch me. I'm the judge now. Overruled. Sorry, Biscuit. I didn't mean to... Where is Biscuit? Biscuit, are you somewhere you're not supposed to be? Oh, no, there you are. Hi, Biscuit. I didn't know that you had gotten off your task training. Would you like to come over here so I can give you pets? No? What's up? Biscuit's just a very talkative baby. He's over by his litter box. He's just kind of sitting there. Adorably. Biscuit. Come here, baby. What am I doing? He never comes to me anymore when I do that. Biscuit. Well, he's a cat, so I guess the best I can expect.
Well, this must be the judge's desk. You can tell by the gavel.
This must be the judge's desk. You can tell by the gavel sitting on top.
I had a dream once that I was being squashed from above by this gavel.
You're such a weakling, Miles Edgeworth.
You have no idea how frightening it was. As the witness stand,
I'll make sure that each and every person that ever stands here will be found guilty.
There are others besides the defendant that stand at this podium, you know.
I don't care. Just make sure you never end up standing at one of these, or you'll be sorry.
I'll keep that in mind, because that absolutely...
Oh, that's right! You're right! Phoenix did have that dream in the original trilogy.
It's an incredibly detailed model, isn't it? I heard that it costs as much to make that as it costs to build the courthouse itself. What was the point of making such an expensive model? I felt the exact same way upon hearing it.
Ugh! It's hard to understand such foolishness.
Agreed.
I want to find the secret switch.
Fine. We'll go this way.
September 10th. District Court. Hallway.
So, did you see anything else? No, I don't think so. I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation. Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law.
He is actually rather short. That or Bad's really tall.
That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions.
Anytime, Detective.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I need to tie up.
Nope, he's shorter than Edgeworth.
Oh, well, that new prosecutor, Mr. Von Karma, recommended, right?
My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
And I'm Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Francisca Von Karma. I'm set to become a successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor.
I see. There's a new prosecutor recommended by Von Karma, Miles Edgeworth, and... It bit my tongue.
Are you alright, Your Honor?
Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine.
Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title.
Oh! Very well then. I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now, about your earlier testimony.
Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw.
All right. After all, it's my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law.
Biscuit is now sitting on the chair behind me. He is curled up. He's a little cutie pie.
I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
He also, wait, no. What day is it? The 6th? He is exactly 10 months old today. We are exactly 2 months out from this boy being a year old. Biscuit, you're almost a year-old baby. You're so close.
Where were you at the time of the murder?
Do you suspect me of something?
No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor.
Very well, you may continue with your testimony.
Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after.
Oh! I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony.
I'm getting the sense that I might want to avoid being a trial run by this judge.
Edgeworth, do I have some news for you? You're literally never gonna see anyone else.
Now let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. When I was going into the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore.
Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. That was really suspicious. That's what my finely honed judge's intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Ho ho ho.
Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. Probably I'm going to find out from His Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now?
Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. I thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor.
Oh, any time, Mr. Edgeworth, any time.
The judges in this country seem rather friendly. Yes, not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they're known to hand down very fair verdicts.
What's a jury? That don't exist. What the hell? Wait. What the hell am I looking at here? Is that a trail of ants? Oh, okay. I know what happened. I can tell you exactly what happened now. I know 100% what happened. Gumshoe never left this hallway. He bought a snack from the vending machine, he dropped it, he went to go clean it up, there's a bunch of ants there, and that's the exact same time the judge looked through the window, and of course he couldn't see Gumshoe because Gumshoe was on the floor. I'm a genius. I figured it out.
What is this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber. I feel like I've seen something like this before. Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there is a litter running loose inside this courthouse is simply unforgivable. Don't hit me! Ow. It's not like I was the one who littered. Rubbish belongs in a rubbish bin. Please stop.
Ah, siblings. Don't you ever just take a riding crop and whip your sibling constantly whenever you just feel like it?
That's a hard work carrying the food home. It's a marvel they can pick up such comparatively large objects to this size. Well, if you want to carry the mighty Von Karman name and not be squished under it, you better work extra hard, just like these ants. The same goes for you, Francisca. So that window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom. They can't see it. At your height, I'm not surprised. Alright, that one's fair. I guess short people have feelings too. Me looking at my best friend who's 4'11", but also 6 months older than me. What's the matter? Pricked myself on one of this cactus's needles. Didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case. Do you really think so? Because I believe that this cactus sitting on this windowsill is completely related. Oh? Well then, I look forward to your explanation how exactly it is related. Yes, me too. The dirt on this bench smells like some sort of sweet substance. I can't believe there's someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame! Calm down, Francisca, and I'll take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? I suppose it could be. Which means that perhaps we can lift the print off of the person who sullied this bench. I see, and then we'll know the identity of our mystery slob. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir, yes, sir! It belongs to Detective Gumshoe, sir! And, do we know who they belong to? Sir, the finger bones belong to the... Oh, interesting. Good work, officer. I mean, I couldn't... And there you have it. Yes, I suppose so. Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench. I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. What are those black speckles? I believe it's a pile of ants eating away. Oh, that detective! He claims not a single ant slipped by him, and yet here's a whole hill of them! What are you hitting me for? As a replacement for that pathetic detective! Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts. Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating. And from the looks and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. How's Edgeworth? The courthouse has to be kept pristine at all times. It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground. The courthouse must be kept clean. Hands are pouring out of the hole in this bench as well. I wonder if the inside of this bench consists of nothing but ants. Don't you dare continue with that gross line of thought! I'm sorry. Okay, I think I have everything I need. Oh, whoops. Wrong button. I wanted this button. I want to look at our Swiss roll that we have. It doesn't have the peak, though. Courthouse special Swiss rolls. It's being sold somewhere on the premises. I don't recall seeing a restaurant of any sort in this courthouse. I somehow doubt you find junk food like this on a restaurant menu, Francisca. Well, then where do they sell these things, huh? A convenience store, I suppose. Well, I'm sure there's no convenience store in this courthouse, Miles Edgeworth. Where in the world did this come from? It would appear that this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. There we go. That's what I needed. Just lovely. What will they think of next? Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. One packet for $9. Ugh, that's expensive. Defendant's fresh milk. No. Just no. No on that one. Absolutely not on that one. Why are we talking about the defendant's fresh milk? Why was the defendant being milked? Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these for $6. They're awfully overpriced. The lineup is simply awful, period. Speaking of snacks, I wonder if the Swiss roll the little girl dropped is from this machine. I apologize for nothing, Kayla. Blame the game. I gotta give some warning before we talk about milking the defendants. Freshly. Alright, next time we go to milk a defendant, I'll let you know. I was wondering about that myself. The end of what? Well, I assume that means the end of the trial. I suppose this means one should eat these during a recess. You can't eat during a trial, so this is the only time you can eat them is now, I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2, after all. We're in the middle of an investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me. If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together. Wait! But he said he had no money on him. Until we cashed it, he only had $5. So he couldn't have bought the Swiss roll. If I had to split with you, then I don't want it. Okay, the price actually is kind of important. Weirdly enough, because the bonus that Gumshoe got was only $5. But he had literally no money before that. Which means he should not have been able to buy this. And yet somehow... When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. It looks like this slogan was decided through a public contest. And the winner was... Prosecutor Winston Payne? What a pathetic slogan. No presents at all. Now if it's up to me, it would read, if you leave matters in Von Karma's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty dogs.
Objection!
Overruled? You're not the judge. You don't get to overrule me. Don't be a jerk and call. Now I just need to know what all of them say. Miles Edgeworth, wouldn't you agree that it's a very clever pun? Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name? Even a foolish fool can understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad, and now I am now utterly famished. If you wanted a pack of these, all you had to do was ask like a normal person. Don't let the prosecution and the defense make a ham sandwich out of you. That sounds like it's directed at that ham of a judge. Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. Are they promoting violence, or are we talking about that famous case that... you know. Is this a reference, or was that an accident? Don't worry, my will make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long. Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad. Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to mean? I bet it means that the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now. No, I think that this... I'm gonna read the sentence! I'm giving you warning! I'm warning you now! I'm gonna read the sentence! No, I think it might mean this was milked right here from the various defendants. Miles Edgeworth, you can't possibly be serious. Of course not. I think that's everything here. Did you find something, officer? I think there's a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more. Is there no one working this crime scene who isn't a total waste of living tissue? Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. Have you found any suspicious fingerprints, officer? Nope, just the fingerprints of those involved with the case, sir. I guess we know all the players in this case then, huh? It would appear that way, but I have the nagging feeling that we're missing something. I suspect what we're missing is hiding right here in this crime scene somewhere. Detective Bat, I have something I wish to inquire about. Hey, how about doing some actual work, you? I wish to inquire Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigative authority. So I heard you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday. That guy was just accused, you know. I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me.
A lot of good it did you. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it.
Hold it!
Francesca, I think you need to apologize.
I'm sorry.
I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue. I used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told them to send somebody over, and that detective's the one that showed up.
And only upon his arrival did you send Detective Gumshoe to send God, Detective Bad?
Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendant lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. She told us that Faraday was really mad, and that he dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside.
And around what time did all that take place?
Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway, not once.
Oh, and how can you make such a claim?
One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't.
If the detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to?
That's simple. He must have gone into lobby number 2, just as I suspected.
You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe.
It would seem that I'm still missing some key piece of information that I already found, me the player, I already know. But we'll get there, don't worry. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not?
Yeah, I heard it when I was in defendant lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you.
How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene?
Less than a minute.
What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot?
I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall and raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies, in that order.
That makes you discover the crime scene, right?
Yeah, I guess it does, little miss.
I am about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve, or else.
You wave that thing around anymore, and I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss.
You wouldn't dare.
Just joking.
Detective Bad is really something if he can make Francisca behave.
Are we about done?
Is there anything else I should ask him about? Detective Bad, where were you when you heard the gunshot?
Okay, that's not... I was really hoping to hear what direction did you hear the gunshot from? No, that's not what I... That's not what I wanted to ask.
Hold it!
I'd like to know a little bit more around the circumstances under which...
That's still not technically the question I wanted to ask. I wanted to... Miles, you already asked him about that. What I want to ask is, like, did you hear a direction? Do you know where it came from? Did it come from that room? Did it come from outside? Did it come from the hallway?
I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshots.
It was around the end of the recess, and the trial was about to start again. I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handoff. So I figured I should go get him, or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang! The sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums.
So we heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh?
Okay.
Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste.
Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door doing nothing.
I get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene. Or rather, that he is keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask that you cooperate just a bit longer?
I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place.
Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles.
You may no longer be willing to help us. However,
May I ask for the forensic scientist cooperation? Do as you like. Okay, except we already did that. Okay, let's connect some dots. Connecting the dots! I've connected them! Oh, these bits of chocolate and cake. Clearly not to come from a Swiss roll. A Swiss roll? Why would a courthouse sell a thing like that? May not seem like the right venue, however, it is being sold right over there. The vending machine. I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. 2 for $6? Talk about expensive. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that cake comes in chocolate bits found in this hallway suggests that it came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe was to sit on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and studied the bench. How could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made this mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, I look at a rather interesting contradiction of facts. A contradiction? Where? Right here. I'm pointing at it, but you can't see my finger, so I'll point at it with the... Oh, whoops. Here's your contradiction. Oh. I feel like I messed something up. Let's see, yeah. I'm so curious what the hell this was. This is. I don't see how these two are connected. Crunchy? What's crunchy? This crunchy? A piece of rubber. A big piece of rubber. I think I missed something. It doesn't look like there's anything contradictory left in this area. I suppose not. I should check somewhere else. Oh, here we go. Okay, I didn't see the deduce button. I got it. Yes. Yes, it is. It's connected to this piece right here. About Detective Gumshoe's finances. He said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Being scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. That detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is, how? And also, is this important? Oh, wait. I wonder if that's the dollar from K. Faraday. But it has a change machine, so... I don't know. Interesting. I am confused. He's making a most ridiculous looking face. That may be. To distract- Oh! You might be right. But at least he doesn't look like someone who would tell a lie on purpose. I suppose. But to live on karma, evidence is the only thing that carries any weight. That's true. She might have needed the dollar specifically to give him $1 to make it $6 so that she could sneak in? Yeah. Used to us right now. Wait, this one says... Yeah. Okay. Nope, that's... Wait, nope. Wait, it's a pack of 2 and we have 1 of them. Which me... Okay, yeah, this is one of the 2 packs. I can't believe they're selling Swiss rolls like these days. Yes, and I can't believe it's $6 for 2. How do you charge that much for a commoner's junk food? Francisca, if you want one, all you have to do is buy one for yourself. I'm working right now. It won't do for me to eat while there's a case to be solved. Your idea of working is vastly different from mine. Would you like a Swiss roll? Understood. That's right, I guess they do normally only take, like, quarters. And definitely not pennies. They definitely don't take pennies. Okay. So we have one of the two Swiss rolls. They probably split it. What might have been. Let's see if we can go find... No, we can't leave here. That's fine, extinguishing is used in a crime. If you can already tell from a distance, then why are you wasting your time examining it? Let's not try to rush absolute genius. Anyways. Let's see. My puzzle pieces... Because I've looked at everything. The puzzle pieces that I have... don't make sense with what we have here. Yeah, we've already done all this. The only thing I can really do at this point is just present stuff to him. Unless... No, this one's done. Oh, absolutely. I think it costs like 3 cents to make a penny, which is stupid.
It's just as I said. I've nothing further to add. But there's one thing a detective honors, it's that. You must have confidence in and take responsibility for anything you say. That's what it means to be a detective.
In other words, you're just not a stubborn horse, aren't you, detective? Not helpful. Something... I'm missing something. I'm missing something. But the question is, fucking what? There's something here that I am not seeing. Can you help me? You gathered so much information, but they feel like just random fragments to me. I wonder what really happened here. Random fragments. No matter how unrelated they may seem at first, they might actually fit together somehow. I grow tired of your inner monologue. Say something! I'm going to end up in pieces before I can piece the logic together thanks to that whip. Because we have 3 pieces, but I don't see how any of them connect to each other. Eureka! I don't understand how this works. This pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a popped balloon. Oh! I'm stupid. I forgot about Kay's balloon. I forgot that Kay had a balloon, the pink balloon, when she first came and asked us for the change, or for the $1. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend the windowsill cactus. That would be a logical conclusion, yes. But that means that Kay was here. I believe that I have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Well, I do too. Alright, Francisca, would you care to share what conclusions you've come to? Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead. It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well, but first we need to pay his honor a visit to correct his testimony. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up.
Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect?
Innocence, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge, are nothing but a common witness before Von Karma.
Silence in the courtroom! Silence, I say! Mr. New Prosecutor recommended my Manfred Von Karma and Miss Genius Prosecutor successor to...
You bit your tongue again, didn't you?
As a defender of the law, I can never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want.
Very well, then. Your testimony, if you please. I think, is this the only time we've ever cross-examined the judge?
During the recess, I went to the restroom. There's a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway.
Why is there a window that goes from the hallway to the men's bathroom?
As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm?
Oh. I'm just so used to listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now. What we saw during the recess. Okay, that's fine. There's a window on the hallway side. You can see into the hallway. I saw that detective buying something. Okay, let's stop here. Are you sure that person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor?
Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of his stature, even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat.
Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw.
What? Preposterous! My eyes are sharp as can be, ready to see through lies to the truth. Although, recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be.
Clearly, his eyes are not the only things that have gone fuzzy.
But allow me to say, with all the honor and dignity of a judge, I am not mistaken in what I saw.
Hold it!
He disappeared. But, Your Honor, didn't you just say, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines?
Why, yes, I did. The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But just as I was about to exit, I took another look and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. A detective must have gone into the crime scene, lobby number 2 at that point! Lobby number 2 at that point! I don't know.
So he looked into the hallway from the restroom and over the courtyard, did he? Alright, hold on. Where is our... Here it is. Is it this?
Objection!
Yep, here we go.
What was that finger whack for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection when someone is giving testimony?
If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant.
For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by.
Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me.
What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? The party is hereby found guilty of uncleanness.
You must know, the uncouth bench sullier has already been placed under arrest, thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor.
Oh, well that's good, but who was it?
We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints.
Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty!
Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder.
What do you mean?
I believe that the detective bought a bag of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor on the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true.
Oh, but I still don't understand. This whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom.
It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was unable to see out of that window. I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically, what that means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom. Oh, absolutely. It's not a surprise, but like, at the same time, I love that she didn't say anything, 'cause she's like, he's right, but I'm gonna smack him anyways. It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight.
What?
Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony just proving that Detective Gumshoe was in the hole. Well, not entirely true.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I want to do was try saying it once. Yeah, let me try that again. Hold it!
Is there something of value that you'd like to say?
Yes, actually, there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time.
Even if we overruled him, he just keeps on talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation.
I suppose it's possible you can see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot.
That was the balloon popping. That was the balloon popping.
How was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others.
Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words.
Oh, I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until just now.
How did he mention it? Right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that.
Was it someone celebrating a birthday? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off.
That was the balloon popping. At the window.
The most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway, and whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired.
Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony. Do you think he remembers exactly what time he has to go take a piss?
Hold it!
Your Honor, about what you just said.
I know! I couldn't believe it myself, but I heard it bang with the gunshot. I heard it unconscious, and then I heard a dangerous reaction. Ah, like this. Yes, just like this. With the quick ah.
Your Honor, please remain calm when you are trying to explain yourself to me.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself, yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was no one in the hall. I should know. I looked. There was no one there!
This judge's emotion circuits appear to be stuck on overreact. At this point, nothing stands out to me as a contradiction in his testimony. Francisca, if I'm correct, this testimony is hardly precision quality. I know that, and that's why I said at this point. I think my first line of attack will be to draw more information from His Honor. Let's see if we can find out what time he looked. As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what points in the recess did you look into that hallway?
After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right.
Just as I expected.
What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for.
Your Honor, that statement you made just now was very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony.
All right, if you insist. I looked into that hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene.
Excuse me.
Objection!
Objection!
Your Honor, I cannot allow you to make an objection.
What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection.
Egads! I've been overruled.
Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste.
What do you mean by that?
You claim that you heard the gunshots during the recess, but that is simply not possible.
Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von Kahr.
Instead of biting your tongue, why didn't you bite your... I didn't see what... Why didn't you bite your... Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite your tongue on those preposterous names? I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. With your height, you need a stepladder or four to accomplish that.
Ahem, Mr. Edgeworth. My ears are not that far gone yet, I'll have you know. I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own two ears.
Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Babb.
Hi, Ren. Thank you for the resub. 20 months. Whoop, whoop.
And according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
What did you just say?
Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction?
Oh, that can't be!
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot.
The sound of a gunshot. You keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what that gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard.
Take that!
I found this object in the hallway earlier.
What is that pink substance?
It may not look like it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon.
I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record?
Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony.
What?
Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshots. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time, and therefore you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct?
Yes, that's exactly right.
And let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest on your own.
Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. What manner of trickery is this?
That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But it was me, and I'd wrap this thing up before the judge even testified. I can't elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins.
Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound, but who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this?
That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse. Except the one that we saw earlier. Little Kay Faraday. The balloon the girl was holding. It explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy.
Who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I'll see to it myself that he is released.
Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe.
But why? I thought we just cleared his name.
Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom.
I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case.
September 10th, District Court, room number 3. Detective Gumshoe's here.
What is it? Oh, right, pardon.
What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it.
I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that.
No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. We can't have a trial with 3 judges and no prosecutor and no defense attorney. One of you has to take the prosecutor's chair, the other one must be the defense attorney.
Well, Miles Edgeworth, considering you've been on his side the whole time, I guess I'll be the prosecutor and you can be the defense attorney.
Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental?
Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part.
Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime.
I guess so.
What are you guys talking about?
In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty, and please remember you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Ew!
My whip will object, loud and clear. If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood?
I gotcha, pal.
Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case.
I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in the hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal.
He's still singing the same tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying. It's time I pulled the information I need out of him. I think after this bit, we'll... Okay, blah 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 blah. As soon as I got here, he ordered me, got it. Until I heard the gunshot, I was in this hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
You claim to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, it's not the fact that you did something while you were in that hallway.
Of course I did something. I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else?
Very well then. And what exactly does guarding that door entail?
Well, to put it simply... Oh, I know! It was my job to stay in front of the door without moving an inch.
Oh? Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of?
You got it, pal! I didn't take a single step away from the door just like I was ordered not to!
Except all 3 of them already know he's lying.
Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden?
Because we were all in shock, and in awe of your utter stupidity. Scruffy, if you're going to lie, at least tell us a more believable one.
You! But I'm not lying!
I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close.
Objection!
I have an objection.
What is it, pal?
Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere.
Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal?
Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench.
Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that.
Detective Gumshoe, you know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this. You inconsiderate, slovenly pig. Slovenly pig.
Hey, I promise to clean up later, I swear.
And now then, shall we get down to business? About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of that door. If that were really the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls?
You.
Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of that door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands?
Yow!
It appears that Francisca's wit can do more damage than my words alone can.
Alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I brought a backpack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job, so I didn't want to say anything.
Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine.
Okay, I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for, you got that? Because I'm not holding anything else back.
That last statement may sound like it makes sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us?
Of course not. I've got nothing else to hide, pal. Sweat pouring profusely down my temple.
Objection!
Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe.
But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else.
Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you are aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct?
Remind me again, pal?
The vending machine out the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack. And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right?
Oh.
Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation for that?
I told you, I bought it by myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in the hallway with me, so there's no one who could help me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you?
Correct.
As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Wait, you do?
Of course I do.
What? How?
What proof do I have that there must have been someone else there in the hallway? This little piece of pink
Take
thing.
that!
What the heck is that? I knew you didn't really have anything. You prosecutors are always the same. Always lying to people. You should stop, you know.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean that was wrong? I refuse to be lectured by the likes of you. Miles, how long do you plan on being strung along by this moronic detective? I have no intention of falling for his lie, because there's definitely a second person. What? Isn't that what I did? Huh? Did I wait, I showed him this thing, right? Or did I press the wrong button?
Take that!
Huh? Why is that not correct? Excuse me?
Take that!
Hey, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal.
I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls.
Wait, if you didn't buy it, that means you must have stolen it, you thief!
I would never do such a thing.
Oh, you liars are the same. You started out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal.
I believe you meant to assert that all thieves started as liars. In that case, what does that say about you, detective?
Kirk!
This particular Swiss roll dropped by a certain someone.
Oh,
There were 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them, but you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you?
no way, pal. You've got it all wrong. I ate both of them.
Hi, Kay. Kay, please. Got her. It would appear that we caught you at last.
Hey, don't you do anything bad to that girl.
It would appear that they do know each other after all. So why do you continue to come up to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow?
I have a name, and it's Kay.
Kay what?
Kay Faraday.
Faraday? Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter?
I'm not a you. I'm Kay.
Kay? You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do.
Well, then you should not put Gummy under arrest, mister.
Gummy? My guess is you're talking about Detective Gumshoe.
What a cute nickname you've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong. Kay.
It appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail.
Arr!
Alright, I think that's actually where we're gonna call it. It'll let me. Thank you for the save button. We're gonna go ahead and call it there. We'll try and finish up this episode next time. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. But even if we're gonna prove that Gumshoe didn't do it, we still have to find out who the fuck did. But until then, I would stop at RAR. I would stop at RAR because now we can get RAR the moment we get back. Next time we start up, we'll get RAR. But that is all I have for today. I'm tired. Let's see here. Alright, whatever. Yeah, no, that's gonna be it. Thank you all so much for joining me today. This is weird. This is so silly. We'll be back on Saturday for Atelier, and we'll probably end up streaming on Sunday instead of Monday for a bit, because my schedule's been changed at work. Yeah, nope, I think that's everything I got. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you all later. Get some rest, get some food. I'm a bit hungry. Even when you can't taste anything, food is still important. But that's all from me. Good night, everybody.